Hey YouTube, coming at you with another Great League team. This one, sort of ABB trying to draw out a fighter with Dugong. Defense Deoxys, Dugong, and RATICATE. So how do I start with this is, I went down my list. I've got feels like 200 plus Pokemon built for Great League. So I was going down this list, I'm like, okay, what is the current meta and what can kind of deal with everything? And I'm like, okay, Defense Deoxys is an interesting one because just thinking of the meta, Poliwrath, Lickitung, Gligar, like you have the Mud Boys, you have kind of something to throw at everything, especially on the lead. So I'm like, okay, and then what else do I have here? It's like, well, if I was looking at Dugong, I'm like, Dugong's interesting because Gligar and the Mud Boys are like kind of tougher for Defense Deoxys. And I'm like, Dugong's a really nice answer. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So what do I do now? So Dugong could be a safe swap. Do I do something else? And then I just went down the list and I had a Raticate built. And for those of you, I'll pull up the stats and stuff and go over the movesets and everything during the battles here. But for those of you who have never used Raticate, it is sneaky bulky, quick charging with quick attack, and decent hits with crunch and really hard hitting with return. And I think why it doesn't get a ton of play is because it is dark normal. And like that, with Obstagoon, you're not seeing a ton of. You don't have a ton of play when there are 100 counter users running around, right? I mean, there's not 100, but you know, with Annihilate out now and everyone like Medi's still OP, I kind of talked about the other day, and everyone's using Poliwrath. It's a little tougher to use something that's double to fighting, which is why you try and use Dugong first to draw out a fighter. So did pretty well with this team. Let's look at some battles. In this one, I'm probably going to Thunderbolt and then dip into Dugong. Probably throw one more counter and then, because I'm expecting them to do one more bubble and throw. So I'll do one more counter and then throw or get out of here. I'm going to get out of here soon. Yeah, okay. One or three. I was about to say I'm going to catch one of them. I do catch one of the only move that actually does neutral. So that is whatever. Umbreon comes in. So getting off the Icy Winds just to lower their attack, just because you're bulky enough anyways. The thing with Dugong is you're bulky. Drill Run does more tthan Icy Wind, but Icy Wind guarantees lower attack. And just being so bulky and Umbreon not hitting hard, just lowering the attack just kind of makes this... you're going to lose anyways because you already got chipped with the Play Rough, but just kind of lowering their attack multiple times just makes whatever comes in next much, much better. And speaking about what's coming in next, if they came in with an Umbreon to my Dugong, they clearly do not have like a Poliwrath or a Fighter or something to deal with Dugong. So Raticate probably becomes a little more stronger here. And Raticate is going to resist the Snarls and it's going to resist the Foul Play. So I immediately come in here. They try and come back in. Again, as a Dark, I'm going to be bad against Fairy, so I'm going to come back, right back in here. Take a move. Just make sure that I am taking this out or at least putting it low enough that I can just quick attack down. And they let it go. So I'm expecting the Umbreon to come back in and get some moves off here because it did have a bit of energy left. And then I'm like, you know what? Let's just start shielding because if I can come out with some energy here, that was probably be valuable in the back end here. So my thing is if they get to another move here, which they do, I'm like, okay. At this point, I'll have two moves coming out, two Psycho Boosts, so I can probably Psycho Boost anything immediately. And it's a Tropius. And this is where you're going to see the bulk of Raticate come in here. So Tropius, more defensive, but Raticate also very defensive. You're going to just see me take multiple moves and live. So they're up a shield, chipped it with Crunch, Leaf Blade, live that. These air laces are coming fast. Here comes another Crunch. I'm going to quick attack, and then they let it go again because they know I have a Psycho Boost loaded, thinking that they can take me out. Of course you can take out. Who would survive two Leaf Blades? A little bulky rat, that is who survives. Get off this Crunch. This will take out, so they have to shield, and then I get a Psycho Boost off for the win here. So Raticate, like, nice coming in, kind of clutch there in the ending. Bastidon, so good lead. This is kind of where you want to see it. Out comes an Annihilate. So not rushing out of here immediately. So Annihilate's a little trickier in the fact that it is a counter user, but it's also Ghost. Talking about I already kind of go over Annihilate. I will take one move, and now I'm at back-to-back Psycho Boost, and this is all I basically need. One's going to grab a shield, one's going to chip, even though it's lowered. So grab the shield, aware of that, chip here, and then immediately come Dugong. Because once it's low enough, I can just kind of just take the rest with Dugong. I may shield, I may not shield. Let's see what I decide to do. Shield, yeah, Shadow Ball would hurt. I don't want to like, I want to try and keep switch here because I kind of need the Defense Deoxys on the Bastidon. Bastidon is going to just come and farm. Or they go Shadow Vec, which is interesting. They actually do get, no, they catch. So really nice catch. But all of that kind of allows this to do is lower their attack for now what is just a counter Deoxys, right? So taking less hard hitting moves here. I may shield anyways. Yeah, Stone Edge would still probably hurt. As long as these smackdowns aren't doing much, I'll throw one Thunderbolt to chip here. And then I'll probably get at least a Psycho Boost loaded. And then that was just a visual glitch there. And then catch here. Keep the move loaded. Again, you are bulky enough to take this. I'm going to go over the stats in a minute here. But like take that Stone Edge. Shadow Vic comes back in. You know I have a Psycho Boost loaded. Shadow Vic coming in with the Leaf Blade here. But again, too tanky to be taken out. This will take them out if they don't shield. So they have to shield. Psycho Boost loaded. Goodbye Shadow Vic, and I counter down. So it's a rat, a very sneaky pick. And while this next battle loads up, I'm going to go over Raticate, so bulk and stuff. So terrible lead. Dugong, obviously safe swap. Annihilate. This is one that if I can fight for switch, I will, or grab shield advantage. Okay, Raticate ranked a solid 196 in the Open Great League with a, let's just load, maximize these, with a 17-24 record, and those 17 losses are real hard. Again, double weak to fighting, so Annihilate, Medi, Vigoroth, Poliwrath, just absolutely destroy, like 178 and lower. That means like you're getting killed. And then Registeel, Focus Blast, and then Fairies are gonna have big problems. Counter user Defense Deoxys, right? So a lot of bad matchups, and even some of your wins are not amazing. But some of the wins you do get are like Shadow Gligar, Clodsire, Whiscash, Lickitung resisting the licks, Umbreon, Sableye resisting the Shadow Claws, right? You are normal and dark, which means that in terms of resistances, you triple resist Ghost. Ghost does 2.44% of a normal attack. So Shadow Claw is doing triple resisted, which is why it is so very strong. In terms of the moveset, can you run Hyper Beam instead of Return, or Hyper Fang instead of Return? The answer is depends. Yes and no. So quick charge move, quick attack versus bite. Bite is more of a damage output, so 4.8 damage per turn. So very, very hard, like fast move damage Pokemon bite, but only 2 energy per turn, which is very slow. Whereas opposed to quick attack, which doesn't hit super hard, but very quick energy generation. So 4 energy per turn and 3 damage per turn. So a decent move overall. If you're looking to turn like the 2 turn, how much generation, it's 6 damage versus for 8 energy. So not bad. Crunch is a must. Crunch is a must on this. Crunch is 45 energy, 84 damage after the stab. Same type attack bonus, 1.87 damage per energy with a 30% chance of lowering your opponent's attack or defense. So Crunch is a must. You have 3 options for a normal second move. All are sort of harder hitting nukes. So in terms of return, which I'm running, it is a purified, right? So you need to have a Raticate that has potential to learn return, like purified. 70 energy, 156 damage, so nice damage output there. 2.23 damage per energy. So really, really hard hitting damage per energy. 70, again, 70 is kind of a higher energy takes to get there. So you kind of want that over 2 something, right? You also get that with Hyper Beam damage per energy. A very, very similar 2.25 damage per energy with Hyper Beam. 10 more energy, 24 more damage So 80 energy, 180 damage, 2.25 damage per energy. So in terms of damage per energy, it's even. But why you would prefer return over Hyper Beam is just because 156 damage is going to do so much anyways, right? So that extra 24 damage is not worth what is an extra 2 quick attacks that you need to get to, right? Because 10 difference in a quick attack does 8 energy. So you essentially need an extra 2 for the Hyper Beam. But it's there if you want it. The other option is a Hyper Fang. So that's a cheaper move. It's a 50 energy, so only 5 more than Crunch, 20 more than Return, for 96 damage. So a 1.92 damage per energy. And again, if you look at Crunch and Hyper Fang alone, 45 and 50 energy moves doing 1.87 and 1.92 damage per energy. It's pretty good, right? The moveset, I really like the moveset overall on Raticate. Where it falters is 2 things. One is just what you take super effective to, and you take double super effective to fighting. And there's too many fighters in the meta currently to deal with. Your other weaknesses are Bug and Fairy. That's more manageable. There's not a ton. Like, you need to watch out for like X Scissor on Charge Bug, and then some Charm Fairies will cause you problems. But otherwise, not bad. And in terms of resistances, like triple resisting Ghost is nice. Double resisting Psychic is whatever. There's not a ton of like Psychic moves in here. And then single resisting Dark. Obviously, because you are Dark, you resist Dark. So for most Dark Pokemons that aren't counter users, I mean, Scrafty and Obstagoon are there, but not really in Great League. Having the quick attack return is nice against other Dark Pokemon. Your moves, like I said, it's a bulky Pokemon, right? And that's exactly what you get with the stat product. And the stat product is nice too. I always said 2,000 stat product is what I'm looking at. And you have 130 defense with 148 stamina. So very defensive heavy, 2,078 overall with a 108 attack. So the attack is on the lower end. Bulky traits, bulky, spammy, shield pressure, minus volatile for PV Poke. And that's essentially it, right? Whenever I'm in like neutral situations, I really like using this Pokemon. Again, good moveset, good bulk. Again, neutral situations, you only had like 3 weaknesses. So outside of those 3 weaknesses, you're just kind of like okay in neutral situations. What also isn't on this list that does cause you problems is because it's not a weakness, but it's a tough to go against, is something like a Steel, because your fast move quick attack is resisted and you can only throw crunches. So it's going against something like a Registeel or Bastidon and stuff like that, Galarian Stunfisk, that's going to cause you problems because your fast move is resisted. So again, I like this Pokemon. I think that it's ranked so low just because it is tough against the Great League meta currently, and it doesn't have like a super dominating like covered moveset. So what someone mentioned when I was talking about let's nerf Body Slam because Lickitung is so good and Vigoroth is always OP in limited cups, and what someone said is, which I didn't even take into consideration, is very true. The reason a normal move like Body Slam is better is because normal moves do not hit super effective against anything. And that's 100% correct. Your normal moves do not hit super effective against anything. So it's a very limited move set, right? So from that perspective, having a fast normal move and one of your better nukes being a normal move, you're never hitting for super effective with that. It's always just going to be neutral at best or resisted. If it's resisted, you probably go crunch, right? But at best, it's going to be neutral. So that also limits you from that perspective of not being able to land a nuke or a harder hitting move on anything for super effective, which for the most Pokemon, you will have at least one move. I mean, crunch you can hit for super effective on like Ghost and Psychic, but for other Pokemon, you usually have 2 moves that can hit super effective on a lot of stuff. So that is kind of the limitation with normal Pokemon in this meta. But again, bulk, moveset, just overall, like again, not in bad matchups is bad, but in neutral matchups, I really like using it. So that's the in-depth analysis on Raticate. We still have 6 minutes of battles left. Yeah, you have 6 minutes of battles because this is a very, very, very bulky team, right? Defense Deoxys, Dugong, Raticate, all very bulky Pokemon. And again, the only problem with when you do a triple bulk team like this is sometimes there's not a lot of charge move pressure. I argue that Crunch and Return and Psycho Boost to a certain extent are decent charge move pressures. But for the most part, yeah, non-charge move pressure team, but very, very bulky. Defense Deoxys, I think, is very strong in this. Although, I have seen, and I ran into a lot of problems. Someone must have put out a double grass team. But I have seen what feels like a million Trevenant come back here. And it makes sense because you're now you have 2 counter users everywhere in Annihilate and Poliwrath. Annihilate, which is Ghost, which you do super effective against, and Poliwrath, which is Water, which you do super effective against. So it makes sense that you're seeing an uptick in Trevenants. And again, Raticate just walls Trevenant, triple resisting the Shadow Ball and the Shadow Claw. So, that's sweet. But I was running what was I running just now? That's going to be my next team. Skarmory. I was running a Lantern, Skarmory, and what was my third? Annihilate. I was running Annihilate again. And yeah, I saw so many Trevenants. Like the team, I liked the team, but then it was just like Trevenant was on like 4 out of the 10 battles I did. And it was just like, crap, like Trevenant's really rough for that team because like 2 things are going to beat it. I do have Night Slash on Annihilate now, and that's what I'm going to go over. Night Slash versus Ice Punch. I do like Night Slash on it. It actually won me a couple games, so I prefer that. Speaking about just killing something here, although they land a return, and it really changed this game up, I think. So I think they land 2 returns, and the returns do hurt. But yeah, that'll be, oh geez, what day are we? That'll be tomorrow's video? Today's afternoon video? How many videos have I put out? That will be tomorrow's video. I'm just checking here. When is this going up? What do I put out? This is going to go out Monday morning, Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon. So this is going out Wednesday morning. Yeah, so this afternoon. So this afternoon, you will see a Skarmory team coming out. And then I got 2 more videos that I need to shoot for Thursday. Yeah, I like how I said, like, I'm gonna slow down on videos. And then it's just like, here's 2 videos a day for 4 days straight. It's just because of this Go Battle week, right? As someone who does every single one of his sets, being able to do 50 battles per day, I can, if I'm playing well, I can get 2 teams per 25 battles. So if I'm doing more than well on a 50 day, I can get like 3 or 4 teams to showcase. So there's a lot to showcase in this week. And then we are flipping over. I mean, I could bank some of these for later, and I may, because it's only Monday when I'm filming this. For going up on Thursday. I mean, for Wednesday. But I'm pretty sure we roll. There's actually, oh yeah, there is a Great League next week, so I could save some of these for next week. Because it's Great League and Hisui Cup next week. And then it's Ultra League and this Hisui Cup again. And then Great League does not come back for till the last week. So yeah, I could showcase. I'll have some teams that I can showcase for Great League, but I'm assuming people will try this cup. So we'll probably combo this cup and Great League next week. And then I feel like most people will be tired by that, but Ultra League, I don't know. That's 2-week Dan's problem from now. Yeah. So that is basically it. This is the last battle. Go down shield. Again, risky when you're not drawing out a fighter. But at this point, if they have a fighter, I'm going to have 2 moves for the fighter. Essentially with 2 Icy Winds, if if Annihilate comes in. So being able just to Icy Wind this twice, yes, the counters will still chip, but just 2 Icy Winds to lower these counters' attack a lot. And I should probably still shield up the Shadow Ball, quite honestly, here. Because I want to try to farm down. Because then I want to try and, if they don't get out here, yeah, I was about to say, if they don't get out here, I can switch lock them. But unfortunate for them, they have a Gligar, which is real tough. So I can probably do 2 more and catch on this. Yeah. And now the question is, I don't want to take a second move. That's for sure, because then I'm just counter range and then it'll be an issue. So I'm going to chip here. The problem is I'm quick attacking, which is resisted by the Ghost. But I should be able to get to a charge move before they take me down, even though it's double super effective here. Nope. But it's enough to put it within 1 Ice Shard, and I think they need 2 more. It's funny because I just realized Ice Shard and Icy Wind are both legacy moves, and I labeled the return as like a you need to purify it move, but I forgot to label Ice Shard Icy Wind. So yeah, asterisk beside the Icy Star Ice Shard Icy Wind, because you need elite TMs for that or evolving during a special event to get the move. Anyways, that is a Raticate. I guess I should put it in the thumbnail even though people won't click. All right, I'll put it in the thumbnail. We'll see what happens. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.